Hi friends, we're going to talk to two people who are being sued for defamation or who are threatened with a lawsuit of defamation for making a video showing that they are dissatisfied with a product for which they paid 47 lakhs.
57 lakhs.
57 lakhs, that's right. So, meet Miha Ribar and his wife Padmasri Gangale.
That's correct.
And Padmasri is the owner of a house, of a flat that she bought at Kalpataru Serenity at Manjri in Pune. She made a video. We'll talk more about that later. But first, let's get to know Miha and Padmasri. So, Miha, how long have you been in India?
Now it's been around 4 months, 5 months.
Okay. Is this your first visit to India?
No, I've been to India
You've
before.
been to India
Yeah.
before. Before you knew Padmasri?
No, that first time I came, it was with her.
Okay. So, tell me more about yourself. What have you done with yourself?
Okay, as a young boy, I was into sports, so I was an alpine skier, and that was a big part of my life. Later on, I started to do my own business, which was in tourism industry. Later on, expanded to also some other leisure activities. Eventually, I realized that I like the rural India a lot, and I like the whole knowledge that comes from India, which mainly Western world is keeping aside, unfortunately.
Okay. And you, Padmasri tells me you're also very handy with your hands. You're very handy with tools.
Thank you.
What's
Yes,
that all about?
that's it could be called as a consequence of what I've done before. So pretty much all the businesses that we had, we were really young when we started, so we didn't have enough money. Pretty much everything we did was with friends' help and with our own hands. So yes, I'm pretty familiar with any kind of constructions, from flooring to roofing, in any kind of types of buildings.
So, Miha, you're from Slovenia.
Yes, correct.
What's it like in Slovenia? Is it a prosperous country?
Slovenia, probably she would be the best
Yeah,
ambassador for Slovenia if you want to know what's
So,
really
is
nice.
it a forward-looking, prosperous kind of a place?
It is a place that understands balance. So it ranks amongst the top 5 for equal wealth distribution. I have not seen a homeless person sleeping on the street in Slovenia. My access to the world of Slovenia, let's say the forest, the water, the activities for locals, I received them all without any contest. I was also given a lot of love. They are extremely welcoming. They like to learn. They're open-minded. So they don't tell me what India is. They want me to tell them what India is. So my teaching actually prospered in Slovenia the most because I had the best students there.
Okay, so you're a teacher.
Yes.
And along with teacher, you are a lot of other things as well.
Well, yeah. So I was born and bred in Bombay. I started to work early on. Then I decided that I wanted to go and see more things in the world. I found a route by being a flight attendant in Etihad Airways. I did that job for a total of 3 years. Then after that, I moved to Europe, first to his country and then to a few others in the central and eastern belt.
Like you traveled together, you and Miha traveled together in all these countries?
Yes, we went in our camper to a lot of different spots, especially forests. So we lived in the forest for quite a bit. Then we decided to join hands in any projects of social welfare. We did one in Bosnia, one in Switzerland, so on and so forth. So it was us just joining communities and seeing what they're up to and helping out as much and learning as much as we could in return.
Okay. And all this while you had a building which was being constructed.
That's correct.
All the time you were touring. You had invested your earnings from Etihad Airlines in this Pune project.
That's correct.
Right?
So since I was a slum dweller, my only wish was to have my own home.
You were a slum dweller in Mumbai.
Yes.
Okay.
So I come from a broken family. I did not have quite normal, regular upbringing.
Which part of Mumbai?
You know where Mascon is? Mazagaon?
Mazgaon. Okay.
Right. So there was a compound called Rangwala compound there. And when I was about 12 or 13, they redeveloped that chawl, let's call it a chawl, into a building, like a flat building thing. Before that, it was the chapra and let's say half brick walls and then some patra. So that was my upbringing. And naturally, the home was one of those aspirations that it should be mine, my own, where nobody removes me, where I'm allowed to go where I want to go, so on and so forth, so on and so forth. These were my expectations, and that is why I put all of my life savings into a flat that I believed would give me the dignity I desired.
Okay. So you guys traveled rough in Europe, went to different countries. You went to Switzerland, you went to Bosnia. Where else?
Well, quite a lot of places. UK, US, in Africa I've been to a few places. In Australia I've been to a few places.
So you basically seen the world. Okay.
You could say so.
So after all of this, you you were called back to take possession of your flat.
The possession date was September 2018. Since I did not receive any calls from them until January, we were still waiting. We were still in Europe waiting for the flat to get ready. And then in January, when they called, we showed up.
Okay. So you came in response to a possession letter. Is it a letter saying come and take possession of your flat?
Yes, an email.
Okay. So you came and you stepped into your flat. So Miha, you stepped into the flat that Padma Shri had bought.
So that was my first heart attack.
What was your reaction? What did it look like?
My reaction on the entire situation, I mean, I was like utterly shocked. And shocked maybe mostly because of two reasons. So one and first would be obviously the quality, just the simple layouts of the plans are different than what they promised. So if I try to explain it on a bit different example, if I want to buy myself a new phone, and let's say I want to buy Apple, so I order
An Apple
Apple
phone.
Yes. So I receive a box which says here inside is your Apple phone. You open it and you realize it's similar, but it's not really the same. It's called pineapple. And now you're in the situation where you ask the seller, okay, what is this? That's not what I bought. Please give me my money back or replace the product. Simple as it sounds. Now here the only possible option was, inclusive of suggestions of the police and lawyers, here take your pineapple phone, point out which things on it do not comply with what you order. Then if you pay the lawyers and if you battle for I don't know how many years, you might get some breadcrumbs back.
Okay, so you are utterly disgusted with the response of the police.
Exactly.
And what the lawyers are advising
That-
you. You're
that
feeling
was the
frustrated. You're feeling frustrated by them saying you have to go to consumer court and all the rest
Exactly,
of that.
yeah.
And you're saying it's so obviously different.
It is, and that was the first shock. The second shock was that it's not an individual house. It's 250 units, I believe, in the entire building. Where there's no secret, we are all suffering the same issues. We all have the same problems. But when it's like your dignity needs to be spoken about and your constitution is challenged, your basic human rights are challenged, there is where I got confused and I just seek help where I'm most comfortable in. So that would be Europe.
Okay, so you actually wrote about this
absolutely.
situation.
As
you wrote
a
about this
concerned
situation
citizen,
to
yes.
your home country.
Exactly, not just my home country. I also contacted and advised I mentioned everything to the European Commission.
You said what? That I bought a house in Kalpataru.
The entire situation, what happened, because the impediments that shown along the way is when okay, even if that happens back home,
You wrote an email to them, or
So it was during the time when we were criminally intimidated in their office. When
criminally intimidated?
Right.
Yes.
What happened? You
The-
went to Kalpataru office.
That's correct. After several inspections and again asking them to show me the documents according to which I can show them that this is not the flat I booked.
So yeah, as I understand it, there's a very big difference between the brochure, the plans in the brochures or plans that you were shown by the sales office and which you do have on your mobile, right? Yeah. So based on this, you were really mad because this didn't match up to what you were seeing, right?
We were more mad because when we were asking them questions, they just simply said things like, I'm the architect, I don't need to explain anything to you. Go to court, we will
Oh
explain it
yeah,
there.
you went to the sales office and you were saying about criminal intimidation. What happened
Right.
there?
So before this, we were going to the site itself and meeting the possession team and letting them know what are the issues we are having and requesting them to give us the documents so that we can see for ourselves what we signed on. The sanction plans, the floor plans, all of these things, please give it to me. I was asking again and again, but they were not.
They're not showing you what you signed on.
That's
earlier.
correct. Yeah. So then we decided to go to the main office, which is in Waklewadi in Pune, and speak with the senior members because we thought that maybe the possession team does not know how to speak with the customers. So the senior team will definitely give more answers than the possession team. But when we got there, they were even more hesitant to answer any questions. They absolutely were refusing that there was even anything wrong with it. They said absolutely illogical things like, oh, your standards are too high, this is what you get, and that's about that. When we argued that no, if that is so, then please give us our money back because this is not what we agreed with. If you were going to change the flat so much without consulting us, it wouldn't be called a fair deal.
Okay, just stop at that point. I want to ask one very simple question here. Why is it that builders in India don't want to take back a flat if a customer is dissatisfied? The customer has not reduced the value of the flat in any way. The builder can resell the flat. The builder can actually consider that the customer has loaned him money to enable him to build that entire project, and now is the time to repay the loan. So what is the big deal about a builder not taking back the flat? I mean, why don't builders take back the flat if customers are unhappy? This is just on a side note, but it really requires some introspection on the side of the building community, the building industry.
I agree, absolutely. Because when you order something from Amazon and you don't like it, even if you have used it, you are able to send it back just purely because you are dissatisfied with it. But with this kind of a purchase, we're talking about your life savings. This is not the kind of purchase wherein you're paying a little bit.
Yeah.
This is your entire life savings. So when I told them that this is not done, please give me my money back, that's when they started to raise their volumes, speak in disrespectful tones. And when we wouldn't give up, we told them that we're not leaving the office until you give us something in writing. Either something that says that you're going to fix it in this way, that way, by this and this date, or you're going to give us our money back by such and such date. When they refused, they said, no, we're not going to give you any such thing. So we're like, okay, then we're not going to leave. And at this point, they started to, you can say, position themselves physically against us. And
So you felt threatened.
they were standing on top of us. Jayant Oswal is the director of the company and he stood on top of
He
mine.
looms here.
Yes, with
next
his
to you.
hand in the air.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and at that time, I understood that this is not going well at all. In fact, this is very criminal. I called the 100 emergency number and the police just refused to show up. Absolutely just
They
refused.
said because that's a recorded line.
Yes.
And you told them that you were what? You were being threatened in the office of the builder or what?
Yes. On the phone, on the recording, it's even mentioned that I'm in the Kalpataru office, please come and help. And when they heard Kalpataru, they said, no, madam, you come to our police station, Shivaji Nagar police station. We can't come over there.
Okay, so 100 line did not want to help.
The 100 line was not, first of all, getting connected. So I called the Shivaji Nagar.
Oh, you called Shivaji Nagar police station
Yes.
and Shivaji Nagar refused to help.
That's correct.
Okay. Scary experience.
The one even worse was when I was looking for the keys. I had got
How were you feeling about that experience?
Another shock apparently. I didn't grow up.
You're in a foreign
the-
country. You're in a foreign country, and it looks
Exactly.
like you're about to be attacked.
And you can imagine why my reaction was so drastic to go to European Union, because I got a simple question. Okay, if the situation is like this, and if nobody can provide my safety here, so why don't you just say it out loud when I apply for visa, OCR, whatever you're applying for? Nobody says that. Why do I want to challenge even my government. Why are we spending money for our office here if they can't do anything? And we all are fully aware what's happening. And that was maybe a conclusion to the previous one. So many people in India are literally risking their lives on every single step when they exit their homes. But when it's the time to have some spine to speak up for your own right, nobody speaks. And that's what's impressive. That's why I was so shocked, because the first instance, what you do if you feel threatened or if something's against you, obviously you're paying the taxes, your parents are paying taxes towards the police. So you have somebody formally who will take care of your safety. That's their job, no? And when we went to one station, second station,
You went to the police station?
Katki,
Yes.
Hadapsar police station, I'll go twice more. I'll have my own home sleepers there, because they literally wasted so many days of my life
You might as well stay there.
Stay there.
refusing, without a tiny bit of shame, refusing of writing FIR.
They did not want to write a complaint. They didn't
Even
want
though
to take
I-
a statement.
No, not at all. Even though I told them that I feel personally threatened.
Oh yeah, the video. Come to
Yeah.
the video. This video which you made, for which you have been threatened, they've been sent a defamation notice by Kalpataru. Okay, it's quite interesting. I've read it, and we will show it to you on your screen. I would just like to read an excerpt of the Kalpataru video. Can we just do that? And the Kalpataru notice. So this is a lawyer who writes to Miss Padmashri Gangale and Mr. Mihar Ribar, notice for defamation, etc. Okay, it's on 22nd April 2019. We are concerned for our client Kalpataru Gardens Private Limited, having registered office at Kasturi Building, etc., etc. Our client and associated companies are in common parlance known as Kalpataru, etc., etc. However, without any prior appointment, you visited the flat, he says. Suomoto filmed some aspects of the flat and common area, which are usually only finally cleared of debris material, if any, and circulated on social media, and the said clipping being unsavory, your comments and allegations. You also went around the building in the project and said unsavory things about our client to the occupants of premises thereof. All the above with singular malified intent to defame our client and other oblique purposes. Now, is that true? Did you go there while this was before they were, you visited them without a notice?
That's not true.
That's what they are alleging.
So the possession date is September 2018.
Yeah.
I received the email a couple of days before the new year in 2019, and I came to India mid-January. Since then, I had been contacting them for inspection. They said you cannot do inspection until you pay us 3 years maintenance in advance.
So you can't even do inspection of your own house, although you're paid 100% of the
consideration amount. Yes, I have
Okay.
to now pay 3 years maintenance amount, then MSCB charges of 1,25,000 when it only cost 10,000. Infrastructure and development charges, which they did not explain up until now. So all of these different charges, they said you must pay, and only after that can you come for the inspection.
Oh.
So now if you count...
That's a lot of conditions, Kalpataru. That's a lot of conditions, and that's just not a way of welcoming your customers, is it? It doesn't look like a very welcoming conduct.
I felt extorted, to be completely honest. I felt like they are asking me...
They're putting a gun to your head and saying, give us 3 lakhs, or else you don't get to see your flat. Okay.
Pretty much. And the amount was actually 6 lakhs.
So what happens? You paid and then you went to see your flat?
That's correct. So I go over there and
You paid the 3 lakhs.
the 6 lakhs.
The 6 lakhs. You
Yes.
paid the 6 lakhs.
Yes.
then you got to see your flat.
Yes. Only after the amount was cleared did I
Okay.
get to see my.
So they say that you visited the flat without any prior appointment. Was
That
it
is not
possible? Is it even possible? Because is the flat lying open?
No, it's not.
Did you have the keys to your flat in your pocket?
No.
So someone had to come and give you the keys, right?
Yes.
Or someone had to come and open the door for you.
Yes.
What did they do? Did they open the door for you?
Of course, that's how we got.
They opened the door for you. So, how is it that without prior, this notice says without any prior appointment you visited the flat, suo moto filmed some aspects of the flats. Of course they did it suo moto. Okay, great. And the flat and common areas which are usually only finally cleared of debris material, if any. Did your video contain any debris material?
So,
Like, did you show debris material in your flat or?
not in my flat per se. I mean, there were like paint marks and grouting and etc. hanging out from the flat itself.
Okay.
But mostly large pieces of garbage near the lobby area, near the parking area.
Okay.
That's where it was kept.
Okay.
Just
So very
haphazard.
interesting that Kalpataru thinks it can give inspection of the flat, but garbage can be lying around in common areas. I mean, doesn't sound like a great way to welcome a flat owner, right? Fantastic. Okay. So you took a video of all that and you posted it on YouTube,
That's correct.
and you received this notice very soon after. So there is this phenomenon we have been talking about, which is coming up a lot. It's called SLAP, Strategic Lawsuit Against Public Participation. So when someone in power or in a position of power or influence finds that he is being criticized, and he's going to be criticized by a lot of people, the way he does that is slap a defamation suit on the person who's first criticized him. Everyone else will shut up. Okay, that's the whole concept. SLAP. It's a very strategic lawsuit. Okay, the idea is not to win. These kind of defamation suits are practically unwinnable. You will never win it. The idea is to shut you up, to impose legal costs on you, to drag you through court, to tire you out, to exhaust you mentally, physically, and scare everybody else. Everyone else is like, look at them, they got slapped with defamation, we better shut up.
That's what was told by a few members of society to me. They actually said it, that we don't want to do what you're doing. We don't want to speak about this because we don't want a defamation lawsuit for ourselves. So I was like, okay, so it works. At least psychologically, it works.
Yep. So you are said, it says here, very funny, your gross conduct of bad mothering our clients said project. I repeat, bad mothering. He said it, bad mothering our, like, mother sister kar diya, hamare project ka. Yeah. माँ बहन कर दिया. Your gross conduct of bad mothering our clients said project and maligning our clients' reputation by derogatory and baseless allegations. Guys, you can see it. I'll post this letter for your amusement in the description below this video. Please have a look at it. Bad mothering, indeed. Very nice. Very nice touch. Okay, so anyway, to come back. Fine. So,
You should pay attention to the, another clause over here.
Okay.
So they have accused both of us of eking out money. So they did
Eking
not say,
out?
yeah, eking out. They did not say extorting because we only asked for a refund.
yeah, so you asking for your own money is
Eking out money.
eking out money.
Yeah.
Eek.
But I'm actually, grateful to this lawyer that he did not call me an extortionist, right
He
out.
could have done that. Called
Yeah.
you a blackmailer, extortionist.
Yeah, but he went softly, I think, in a way telling Kalpataru too that, this is not cool.
So let's talk about this. A customer who's unhappy with a product. Let's say someone goes to a kirana store and buys a biscuit. She comes out of the store and finds that the biscuit is a different flavor. She doesn't want this flavor. Or it's a different size. She wanted 200 grams and she got 150 grams packet. She insists on returning it. The shopkeeper says, I won't take it back. Do you think that the customer is not going to raise her voice at you? Do you think the customer is not going to badmouth you? If you refuse to take back the product, which is very different from the product she wanted, Why would a legitimate customer who has given you 57 lakhs ask you to take back the product and give her a simple refund if she's not unhappy? Why would she do that? So a customer who's agitated is not going to leave you in peace. Your best bet is to just take back the flat, which you can resell at a higher price because the price keeps appreciating, right? Why are you insisting on them keeping the flat if they are disgruntled with it? Take it back. That's what smart people do. Okay, and by the way, there are a lot of issues. A lot of the things that you say in your brochures are just not true. We have taken an inspection today, and I'll tell you what you call a jogging track near the club, that's a joke. What you call a skating rink, it's about as big as maybe one 4-year-old kid or two 4-year-old kids. That's it. It's not a skating rink. It's a joke. The chess court, it's just a bunch of lawn with a bunch of stones, or what are they? Tiles.
Tiles, yeah.
Tiles, that's it.
And I don't even think that is the chess court. It was because I asked for it. They pointed at it.
It does not have the right number of squares. Okay? And the reflexology path, tiny patch with some stones embedded in it. You call that a reflexology path? Come on. There are loads of issues. The outdoor fitness court. My gosh, the outdoor fitness court. That's a joke. That's a joke. You can't call it that. It's very funny how you call it an outdoor fitness court. Okay, anyway, coming back. These people are not the only ones unhappy. And we will have you know that. There are complaints. There are complaints being shared on WhatsApp. Do you know what it is like to flush in the toilets? I'm going to read a few quotes which you guys can see on the screen. This quote says, muddy water in flush, and that too very stinky. Another quote says, stinky water is back in flush. A third says, please, someone is taking up, it's a humble request to everyone that please read the above conversation, etc., etc. Please add the issue of muddy domestic water. Our bathroom flush has discolored, not muddy water. And there is one which says, this is too bad, we shall escalate. Along with the muddy water in the flush exists for a long time. And here's a picture. Here's an actual bucket of that muddy water which comes out of the flush. It says water just came, but it's muddy. We'll have you know that even if the water is not muddy, even at the best of times, the water stinks of sewage. The water, when you flush the toilet, gives a smell of sewage, raw sewage. Is that a pleasant experience? Is that what a sewage treatment plant is supposed to do? You're recycling water, but is that what it's supposed to do? Please examine. This is a complaint from a lot of people. There are also complaints about parking, but more about that later, in later videos. So there's a lot of dissonance. Now you guys, do you want to go to court against them? It will not be a pleasant experience, and I don't think it's not going to help your reputation. If you want to really do something for your reputation, be open, have a conversation, meet your customers where their concerns are. Let them show you their problems, try and resolve those problems, try and satisfy them. And if you cannot satisfy them, the bottom line is take your flat back. It is a brand new flat. If you say it's so good, you can take it and resell it. That's the simple fact of life. Do it. Thank you.